Hello, welcome in everyone. Another exciting live stream about to happen. I'm going to verify that you can see and hear me. There's about a 30-second delay on my television. I'm watching it on the TV. And then we'll look at the sinkhole. Hello, welcome in everyone. Yes, you can see me, you can hear me. We're gonna look at the sinkhole. So it looks like it's sinkhole galore down in the southern part of the villages lately. Hi, Craig. How are you? Damaged fire hydrant that had been struck by a car. That's what happens most of the time, actually, in my opinion. I think most of these ground anomalies are usually due to some kind of a water pipe deteriorating, something. I have no idea. M's and fire trucks everywhere. Wow, it was Thursday around 9 p.m. So that's usually what it is. ICU. So it's due to a damaged fire hydrant. Yeah. Well, you got to keep in mind that Florida is essentially made of porous limestone. And when the ground gets wet in Florida, there's a chance that it could deteriorate underneath and just create like a sinkhole. Hi, Cruising with the Olds. How are you? So let's look at Azel. Sinkhole E-Z-E-L. Wreck the villages. And we're going to see what we can see. Let's see what we can see. Sinkholes in the villages. We can't really see anything on this. (2017). But I read an article recently that says that Florida is susceptible because of the limestone underneath, and that limestone is so fragile, and when it gets wet during after hurricanes, it seeps into the earth kind of deteriorates, the limestone will deteriorate and it creates a sinkhole. It's just kind of how it is. The Villages news. So the one I would worry about is the one in Well Point. Grand opening this week. 2 golf courses. Congratulations on the 2 new golf courses in the South. Please stop pointing about anti-Trump protesters. Oh boy, here we go. Let me see. Doesn't say anything about sinkholes in the Villages news, at least. I thought for sure it'd be all over. But I did read something. It was actually a really good article that explained it, about the villages and the earth underneath the Florida. It's really fragile limestone. It tends to deteriorate during heavy rains. That's kind of nice. Please stop. Let's see if this has anything on it. Not like we could do a search. I think they need to get a better website. Their website is absolutely horrible. Drive down the sidewalk in the Villages. That's not unusual in the Villages, that's for sure. What is this? Villagers increasingly pointing security cameras at each other. Neighbor wars. What is this one? has been, but if a neighbor points a camera at your house or yard, I just have to say it is very creepy to walk out there, said Robert Vanderleek DeLuna. I remember, I know, this is very typical. All right. Neighbor wars, that's common there. How come they don't say anything about sinkholes here? Let's go to page 2. What's in the news? Page 2. How come they don't have anything about a sinkhole in here? I'm surprised. Usually they're right on top of it. The White Cross. Anyway. But anyway, agrees to on Lake Sumter shoreline revetment. It is what it is. So it is what it is. You live in Florida. There's sinkholes in Florida. It's due to the earth and the limestone underneath the earth. And when it rains heavy, that limestone kind of just deteriorates away. Yeah, they said it was. Yeah, the article, Craig, indicated it was Central Florida. I wish I could. I don't know if it was a YouTube video that I watched, but it said Central Florida really prone to sinkholes because of the earth, because of how the earth is underneath the surface. It was a video, I think. It was a video. It was a YouTube video that I saw about why the values in the home values in the villages are going down. It was one of those videos that was recently released because home sales are slow in the villages, and why people are not moving to the villages. And he was saying because of the sinkholes. It was a weird video, but a lot of it did make sense to me. Basin is 15 months old. Probably something they don't want to get out. Well, that's why they call them ground anomalies. If you've noticed, the villages will never call it a sinkhole. They'll always call it a ground anomaly because it sounds better. And in a lot of cases, they don't publish it. It's just neighbors who tell other neighbors, and then one of the local newspapers will catch wind of it. But the villages wants to keep all of that under wraps. They don't want mass panic to happen. But anyway, it's Florida. It's what it is. It's just the area that the villages is built in. Very interesting. So what do we want to look at on the map today? I'm still surprised, but not really surprised that these Alex Courtyard villas, to me, they just don't seem to be selling. To me, they don't seem to be selling at all. Is there a way to get the villages market update? Is there a way to get that market update? Moving away from previous pandemic era highs. That's interesting. I just did an AI search. Villages market update. It says early 2026, the villages is normalizing with stabilized inventory and pricing, moving away from previous pandemic highs. While new home sales in areas like Eastport have been robust, pre-owned home sales are seeing longer days on market. And that's what we're seeing is the pre-owned home sales are seeing longer days on market. Frequent price reductions. And that's what this video that I watched said. He said there's a lot of price reductions on pre-owned homes. And I'll tell you why. There's always been a lot of price reductions. When I did all those pre-owned open home tour videos, the sellers, when you sell a home, and this kind of goes back to, do you buy a pre-owned home from MLS agent, multiple listing service, or do you buy from a VLS agent? And if you remember a few weeks ago, I said, I think you can actually get a better price if you buy it from a VLS agent. It just seems like the VLS agents have a better ability to persuade the owner of the home to list that home at a more reasonable price. And maybe it's because these homeowners trust these VLS agents more than an MLS agent. I don't know what it is, but when I was watching pricing, when I was doing those open home tour videos, pre-owned, I would see similar homes listed for sale, one by an MLS agent, one by a VLS agent, and it seemed like almost all the time the initial list price of that pre-owned home was almost always lower if it was listed with a VLS agent. I don't know why, but maybe it was just the homes that I was looking at. Maybe it was just coincidence. But to me, it seemed like you could get a better deal if you bought the pre-owned home from a VLS agent, because they originally started off with a more reasonable list price. The MLS agents just seem to write the initial contract, initial price, whatever the owner wants. Usually the owners, and if anybody knows anything about real estate, owners typically will think their home is worth more than what it really is, and they tend to start with a really high list price. I think the MLS agents won't put as much effort into talking with that owner and trying to normalize and start off with a more normal price. And the strategy in real estate is, when you originally list your home for sale, you want to start it off at a reasonable price. There's a higher probability that you will sell that home. If you start it off at a higher price and then lower it, there's actually a lower chance that you will sell that home, because during the first 7 to 10 days, that is the sweet spot. When you first list your home for sale, the first 7 to 10 days is the most important part and most important time frame. And if you list your price too high, people won't be interested. And then you start lowering that price, people still won't be interested. And I think the Villages agents do a better job persuading those customers to list their price at a more reasonable rate initially. And you're seeing frequent price reductions highlighted on your screen. And I think you're going to see those more so from MLS agents, because they just don't spend enough time trying to talk their clients down from overpricing their homes. And most villagers think their home is worth a lot more than what it is. They tend to start that price off really high, but that strategy almost always backfires. The better strategy is to list your home at a reasonable price, sell it in the first 30 days, and move on. All right. Inventory and pricing. Inventory has stabilized, reducing pressure on buyers. Segment performance, the 275 show healthy activity, and I would agree. And the other part of the video that I was watching about the sinkholes was saying that the average home price is declining. It's like $350,000. And I can see that on my YouTube videos. When I make a YouTube video on a home in that $300,000 to $400,000 range, I get more views than if I show a home that's $550,000, $600,000. No people are interested in that price range. They're all interested in that $350,000 to $400,000 range. New construction, average sales price for new homes have trended upward, $475,000 in Q3 due to larger home designs, while patio villa prices remain stable. Market dynamics, a shift is occurring where many sellers are not accepting contingent offers. The market is also seeing increased resale of relatively new homes. That I've seen. That's interesting. Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. So now with that in mind, let's answer some comments. Probably something they want. Yeah, that's true. They do not want to get anything regarding sinkholes out. It was a insurance scam. 10 and we had a crack in the slammer. File a sinkhole claim. That's true. All of those villas, courtyard villas, you can get some larger ones, 3 bedrooms, Becky. You can get some courtyard villas with 3 bedrooms. They sold 35 new homes. Yeah, I was going to say they yeah, that's right. They build and sell right around 3,000 to 4,000 homes a year. Finally, talk to my wife. Isn't doing a lifestyle visit. What would you suggest would be the best time of year for the visit? I'm all in, but it will take some convincing for her. Well, the best time of the year for the best home price would be, I think, in summer, because a lot of the snowbirds will leave the villages April and May. And a lot of times you'll see a lot of homes going up for sale in that April, May, June timeframe. And in summertime, everybody leaves Florida because it's too hot. They go back north. They put their home up for sale, and then they go back up north. So if you're looking for the best pricing, I think summer is probably the best time of the year to look for a home. But it's the worst time of the year because it's so hot. But the best time of the year for weather, the best weather is going to be probably March, April, May. September, October weather is really good as well. Are they actually licensed realtors? I think I asked that question once before. I think they are. I don't know. So we're going to find out. Yes, the village's sales representatives are licensed real estate professionals in Florida. Yeah, I thought they were. Yeah. It's just that they sign a proprietary agreement when they come onto the villages and decide to work for the villages and sell homes. They sign an agreement saying they cannot sell for any other real estate company for like 1 or 2 years after they leave. So even if they leave, I think they signed something saying they have to wait a year or two, non-compete clause, I think. And they don't have access to multiple listings. They work exclusively for properties of the villages to sell new and pre-enlisted homes. They hold active Florida real estate licenses. They specialize in selling new homes directly. Limitation: VLSA cannot list or sell homes found on the MLS. So there's your answer. You cannot use a VLS agent to buy a home on the MLS. Yeah, the Villages is very proprietary. They're kind of like the Apple of the cell phone world. If anybody knows Apple products are very proprietary. You cannot use a wall plug from your Android phone, and you cannot charge an Apple phone. You have to buy the Apple wall plug. Everything in Apple is proprietary. It's exclusive. That's kind of how the Villages operates. Yeah, I agree, Craig. Lower price, fewer people. Yeah, it's a nice time of the year. June can get a little hot, but I did lifestyle in September, and it was great, not crowded. Yeah, September is a great time of the year. High Villages profit. Thunderstorm. Are the pickleball courts open though, profit? That's what I want to know. I want the first pickleball report. I agree, Becky. I agree. But there's a lot of MLS agents. I met a lot of them. There are some of them that are really, really good, but that's the small percentage that are really good. And then there's some of them that will just sign a contract. They don't care. They take the path of least resistance. Thunder is not too loud. But is the turnpike too loud? Just for that profit, I'm going to measure the distance between your home and the Florida Turnpike. Just for this comment right here. We're going to go to Google Earth because I like that tool. I'm going to teach everybody how to do it. Go to Google Earth. We're going to measure the distance from the prophet's home to the turnpike, just because he made a comment like that. And we're going to see exactly how far profit is from that Florida Turnpike. I think I started a new project. I don't know. New map, I think I did. Okay, here we go. So here's the Florida Turnpike. Right here. And let's see where the prophet lives. Prophet. Where are you, prophet? Prophet is where? Blanchard. He's near Blanchard. Prophet is right here. Right here's the prophet. So prophet is exactly right here. His lanai is right about there. That is where prophet is as we speak. And we are going to see where he is to the Florida Turnpike. That's in meters. I have to change it. So where are you, prophet? You are 1,559 meters. I have to change it to feet. I forgot how I changed it to feet. How do I change this to feet? So there are 1,559 meters is how many feet? I forgot how to change it to feet. So go 1,559 meters to feet. You're 5,114 feet away from the Florida Turnpike. Profit, 5,114 feet. That is where the profit is. Just for that comment, we had to measure you. All right. Hello, J-Lo. I talked to a former sales agent that said they weren't licensed real estate agents. They are transactional agents. Well, that's because that sales agent was trying to scare you, Becky, and he wants your business, and he's trying to do everything to discredit those others. So let's go to the Villages Wealth website. Meet our team, sales representatives. So we're going to meet the team. So look at the team. Now we are on the Meet Our Team website. Let's go A. Let's just type somebody with the letter A. Oh, here's one. Let's go Kim Adams. Is Kim Adams licensed? View bio. We're viewing the bio of Kim Adams. Properties of the Villages. Kim's Midwestern values. She learned the value of hard work, and she served at McDonald's during 37 years. Insurance adjuster. She moved into Village, and Kim is delighted. View listings. I would think it would list her credentials here. So I don't know about the Kim Adams. So let's try this guy. Let's view his bio. Jim Emmedill. Can you view the screen? Oh, you cannot view the screen. What the hell's going on? Why do you see me? Add a scene. I don't know what happened. So let me add a scene, screen, and we're going to go to Villages Agent. Share this. All right. So at least we shared that screen. So we're going to share this screen. Can you see that screen? I hate live streams. Jim Amidell. Jim graduated high school in United States Navy, Chicago, Illinois. He's knowledgeable, a personal note. Well, I would say I'm not seeing any credentials like as a licensed real estate agent. He went to the Villages Charter School. Maybe they're not. I would have expected in their bio they would say, well, he's a licensed real estate agent. He spent 15 years selling real estate in Chicago, Illinois. Something like that I would have expected to see. So look at these guys. How about Ben Bartlett? Let's look at Ben Bartlett. He's from Pennsylvania. He has a lifetime of athletic success. So that obviously is going to transfer into business success, right? Central Florida University, because he has a passion to help others. So anyway, these bios, I'll be honest with you, are not impressing me. So I don't know. So the only thing I would say to that, if you're concerned about buying a pre-owned home from a Villages sales rep, just have the home inspected by a professional. That's what I would say. Have your home inspected by a professional. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is I cannot do videos, pre-owned home videos from the Villages because they say no all the time. Why would home sellers in the Villages? Why would home sellers in the village? Why? Let's say let's say you bought a Charlotte model home last year. You want to sell it this year. And I'll show you the map. Why? Because of this situation going on. So right now you have a Charlotte model home for sale in the Village of Water's Edge right here. This is Water's Edge. This is a pre-owned turnkey home, 427 711. It's a Charlotte bungalow, pre-owned, very near Eastport Town Square. This is Water's Edge. You're competing with this Charlotte model up here. So why would I buy your Charlotte model for 471 when I can come up here and I can buy this Charlotte model for 392? And most in almost every case, you'll see the pre-owned home be higher priced than the new home. And then you have to start valuing the upgrades. And most of the time it's landscaping. Sometimes they put a whole home filtration system in. And then you have to weigh, do I want a brand new home that nobody lived in and I'll do my own landscaping? Like for me, for instance, I'm not one of these guys that's going to put $30,000 in landscaping. So I would not buy the pre-owned home that had $30,000 of landscaping. To me, that there's not enough value. To me, I would buy this Charlotte model home and I might put $10,000 worth of landscaping. And then I would take the other $20,000 and I'd go to the bank, put it in the bank. I'd go to Town Square. I'd buy myself a new video equipment, something like that. That's why I'm saying that your pre-owned home sales are competing with new home sales, especially if you're living in the same area. And what I've been seeing on the map, all these red dots and Water's Edge and Shady Brook, those are all pre-owned homes, and they're all like new. All these homes are like new. This home is less than a year old. So if I'm looking at a Charlotte model courtyard villa, I'm looking at this pre-owned home that has all of this landscaping that I don't have any value for, to be honest with you. And then I'm going to compare it to a new home. Look at all this landscaping, Robolini palm trees, the fancy design on the driveway. I don't have value in that either. I don't care if my driveway's painted or not. I really don't. So all this landscaping, that's what's driving up the price. To me, I would buy the new home without the landscaping, and I'd put in a fraction of this landscaping. That's just how I am. Everybody's different. So you can see, here's your pre-owned home. It's light and new. It's in Water's Edge. It's actually closer to Water's Edge. I mean, Eastport. Awesome home. So that's the reason why I'm saying things. Not yet, but parking lot is, it's 6,000 feet. Well, my calculation said it was 5,000 something. You just saw it. 5,114 feet, my calculation. You're closer than you think, Prophet. You're closer than you think. So let's try to switch this thing and get an accurate measure. Where did I tools? Measurement? Somewhere I changed it to view. I changed it to feet. Maybe here. I think it was here. Maybe in settings. On-screen navigation, no animation. I don't know. I think it's because I'm in Asia. That's why I changed it to meters. But there's a way to change it to feet. I don't know how to change it to feet. So let's remeasure. We have, we thinks. Right here. You are right here, my friend. How do I change it to feet? Right there, you were right there. I think he's, so if you look, it's 1,554 meters as the crow flies, 1,546 meters, 1,562 meters as the crow flies. 1,000, you see that? Now convert that 1,000, 1,556. Convert that to feet. $1,554. You're actually closer to the turnpike than you think. I got 5,101 feet. You see? So you're actually less than a mile away. Anyway, length. Here we go. We can feet. 5,127 feet. That's what I show from your house. And you're right there, Prophet. It's like a kid with a new toy, right? All right, share this tab. Slightly over a mile. I think it's slightly under a mile. How many feet is a mile? How many feet in a mile? 5,280 feet in a mile. And I show Prophet as just under 1 mile from the turnpike. But he says he can hardly hear the noise. So eventually I want to figure out exactly how far away from the turnpike do you need to be not to hear the noise. And if Prophet is 1 mile away, we're going to call it 1 mile, and he hardly can hear it, and he's facing north, I would say 1 mile. Okay, Craig says that 1/2 to 3/4 mile from is a good buffer depending on homes between. Yeah, and wind direction. Wind direction does actually affect it quite a bit. A friend just moved into a new patio villa that faces McNeil in Enfield. She can see the turnpike and Bexley Bridge, but no noise from the turnpike. Well, there you have it. Into a new patio villa that faces McNeil in Enfield. It faces McNeil in Enfield. A patio villa in Enfield that faces McNeil. So she must live here? I would have a hard time believing she doesn't hear Turnpike living here. I'd have a real hard time believing that. Or is she in this neighborhood? So let's do some measurements. Why not? Let's assume she's in one of these neighborhoods. And let's do the measurement on Google Earth. So she is in one of these neighborhoods up here. Oh my God, where is it? Right there. It's kind of like right there. So she's right in here somewhere. She's over here. She's right here. So let's measure from here. I don't know. She is somewhere in here. Well, let's put her right in the middle. She is 2,056 feet. 2,061 feet if she lives there. And then there's another patio villa neighborhood over here somewhere. Where's that one? That is a little bit south of that. So there's another one here. I think somewhere in here, maybe. Let's say she lives here. Uh-oh, share this tab. Sorry. So So if she lives in this patio villa neighborhood, she is probably, what do you call it like that? 1,276 feet if she is in this patio villa neighborhood. And there's a patio villa neighborhood here, and then she would be 2,000, about 2,054 feet if she lived in this patio villa neighborhood. Share this tab. 400 feet from the pickleball courts. Oh, now we can measure the distance of the pickleball courts, Prophet. Let's do that. Let's measure the distance of the pickleball courts to Prophet's house. We can see. We can see what the pickleball courts are. Right there to there. Okay. Let's go and see. So now we're going to look at pickleball courts. This map thing is, love it. Thank you, whoever sent it to me. Okay, we got pickleball courts. Blanchard Rec. That's the pickleball courts. That's the Prophet's house. Let's do this thing right there. We're going to put it right on the dot. And we're going to go right here to 373 feet, Prophet, as the crow flies. So you're pretty close, 400 feet to the pickleball court. Oh, did you even see it? Oh, there. You didn't see it. Okay, you didn't see it. I don't know why. But here is the distance to the Prophet's house. 378 feet. You can see that, Prophet. Pickleball court to the Prophet's house. All right, stop sharing. Share this tab instead. Okay. This is bizarre. Multiply by 3. Yes. Pre-owned sales are split between MLS and VLS. Really? I didn't know that. I still think you can get a better value on pre-owned homes with a VLS agent. We learned a good lesson yesterday. You cannot simply use algebra to compute how much range you have left on your electric golf cart. We had 12% left, less than a mile from Saginaw, and okay, and what? Did I miss something? No. Oh, shit. Use algebra. Yeah, electric golf cars. You know my opinion. I stay away from electric because they're going to leave you stranded. What happened? Did you get stranded, Prophet? Did you really? If I had a pre-owned home, I wanted to sell, I would not use the VLS. My home would not be seen by the masses. Home shopping on the MLS, Zillow. Seems like the VLS would rather concentrate on new. I think, yeah, you said a lot in that statement, Becky. I think that's true. If I want my home sold fast, I would use VLS. If I can wait some time and get and maximize and get the highest price, I'm probably using MLS. Even though the Villages separates their new home sales agents from their pre-owned home sales agents. They don't sell both. You do not find an agent that will sell new and pre-owned. They segregate it. Even though there's separation there, there is still a symbiotic relationship. Those pre-owned home sales agents are trying to do what they can to help the new home sales agents. I think that's one of the reasons why you're not seeing a pre-owned home sale, pre-owned home listing at a much higher market value than what it should be. Those VLS agents really work with those pre-owned homeowners to price that home appropriately up front. And I think part of the reason why they're doing that is because they have a symbiotic relationship with the new home sales agent. That's just my theory, my opinion. I might be wrong. Yeah, that's what you're going to get with electric. That's why I have a gas golf car, because I know I can watch that gas gauge go down, and it's just easier to predict. With a electric, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know if that battery's going to last 10 miles, 1 mile, 10 feet. That's why I stay away from electric, because I just don't understand them. All these hold homes for sale are people that added landscaping, gutters, yep, poly garage floor, and try to make money off them. Investors, yeah, that could be. That probably is the truth, Craig. Also, we learned when the cart dies and returns to the power after a few minutes. So he didn't make it home. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. But the question I have for you now, Prophet, is every time you get into that golf cart, are you always going to worry that you're going to run out of electricity? Is that going to be always in the back of your mind? I'm one of these guys that I would always worry about it, and it would add stress to my life. That's another reason why I went with a gas golf car. I just don't want that added stress. Start from the pickleball courts and deduct 300 feet. I'm not sure what that means. Becky Forbes, I wouldn't want to live close to pickleball courts. I think that would be more annoying than the turnpike. Yeah, the turnpike can be like white noise, just a constant hum. But the problem with the turnpike is late at night when the sound travels really well, and you have these 18-wheel trucks downshifting to get into that Oasis restaurant area, they make a lot of noise. But the normal turnpike noise isn't bad. It's the occasional downshifting of a giant truck who has a bad muffler system that'll wake you up at night. I win. Okay. Anyway, I think you're far enough away, Prophet. At the end of the day, I think my personal preference, I would want to be at least a mile away. I don't think I would want to live any closer than 1 mile to the turnpike. That's my personal preference. Just 2 streets over from Villa I rented, you couldn't hear the turnpike. Village of Richmond. Okay. We moved there for the week at Ocala Verandas North and barely could hear the turnpike at night. Certainly could hear the band. You could hear the band at Eastport. See, that's the thing. You don't know where to live. That's what I keep telling you. I call it the Village's paradox. Just when you think you found the right place to live, then something else comes up that you didn't think of, like the band noise or the lights of Eastport or the lights of the prison. It's like, where do you live? Where's that perfect spot? And there is none. There is none, because I tried finding it for years, and there's still problems even where I live. So there is no perfect spot. You got to pick a spot that you can manage, that you can accept. So you were at Ocala Verandas North. Let's do a distance check, Oak Hollow Verandas North, and see what it is to the turnpike. Oak Hollow Verandas North, which is over here. It's going to be right here. These are the Oak Hollow Verandas North, right there, this wall. So let's check it out. So this, if you lived at the end of the neighborhood, I believe this is the neighborhood, right? Yeah, you come in here. So this is the end of the Oak Hollow Verandas North neighborhood. Oh, no, it's not. That's south. You're talking Oak Hollow Verandas North? Verandas North. Okay, that's over here. Oak Hollow Verandas North. Let's say you lived right here. Stop sharing. This is Oak Hollow Verandas North. Let's say, I don't know. And we're going to see how far that is from the turnpike. 4,085 feet. You're looking at around 4,000. I don't know, a little over 4,000 feet from the Oak Hollow Veranda North. So there you have it. I would stay in that 4,000 to 5,000 foot range. That's me. But I could see Profit's permanent lighting when we exited from I-70 onto the turnpike. What? It's definitely 350. As a buyer of pre-owned, you should have both VLS. As a seller, I would go with VLS simply due to the marketing of the villages. I actually think the VLS agent is going to sell your home faster than an MLS agent. That's my personal opinion. I think you're going to get more attention from a VLS agent as a seller. As a seller, you're going to get more attention going to a VLS agent. You're also probably going to get a better, you're going to start your home pricing better initially. I see so many people, pre-owned homes, they get an MLS agent, they start that price way high, way out of the market, just ridiculously high. The MLS agent pushes back a little bit and after a while says, I need the listing. Okay, we'll go with your price. And then the home sits and it sits. And then they reduce the price and then it sits and it sits. And it's known logic in the real estate market that it's detrimental to sell your home if you start off with the price really high and have price reductions. You want to sell that home at the appropriate price. You want to price it right initially, and you want to get that home sold in the first 30 days. You don't want to start it off too high. That leaves a bad taste in buyer's mouth. Even though you reduce it later on, you still might not get that buyer that was interested in it at the time. Most likely bought a different home because it took you 2 or 3 months to figure it out that you had it too high and reduce the price. So start the price right. And I think Craig is onto it. The VLS agents, I think, are going to get your home sold faster. Just my opinion. And I think they're going to sell it faster because they're going to price that home more appropriately up front. Is like empty. Yeah, I would agree, Profit. Those electric golf cars are strange that way. Even though it says 20%, 50%, you don't know how far you got to go. And as time goes on, and as that battery weakens over time that battery will like weaken, I think. You're going to need to change that. Eventually, you're going to bump it up to 30% and then 40%. It's just, I am not an electric golf cart guy. Oasis must have travels. Oasis must have traveled. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm from Wisconsin, and I would travel down in Chicago, and we'd see these restaurants over the road, and they said, "Oh, those are Oasis." I said, "That's kind of cool." But that's kind of what's in between the Florida Turnpike. I call it an Oasis. It's a restaurant. Oh, I like the areas of Richmond and Hillsborough. Hillsborough was very quiet but convenient to shopping. Yeah, Hillsborough is kind of nice. That's district number 10. That's east of the Brownwood Paddock Square. I was looking at Hillsborough too. When I drive out there, I just kind of felt like I'm kind of far away from everything, but I don't know. I think it depends on how skilled. I agree. I think there are some really good MLS agents. There are some really good ones. And I have met some really good ones when I was doing my videos. Really, Prophet. Well, that's awfully nice. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, everyone. Belated. A 707 just landed on my lanai. Listing looks like a good deal. What's your opinion? What is it? 289 V05. Let's look at 289 V05. 289 V05. 289 V05. It's a wood framed home. It's a Mockingbird F 416903. Where's it located? It's in Oak Hollow. It has a south-facing lanai. Let's see, here's the Eastport's kind of close enough to the Eastport Town Square. So, Pete is asking me to look at this. What's your opinion on stick-built homes? I live in a stick-built home. And with all of the hurricanes that I've had, I lived through about 10 of them so far in Florida. There was only one of them that made me nervous being in a stick-built home. The other ones, not a big deal. So I think stick-built homes are pretty good. Again, I would prefer concrete, but I think the Villages does construction pretty good. I know there's a couple of commenters that keep bashing the Villages construction quality. I think the homes they build in the Villages are actually pretty good. There are some builders in the area that I heard are really bad, but I've never really heard anything bad about the construction quality of the home. I live in a stick-built patio villa. It lasts through it stands up to all these hurricanes, not a problem. Oh, there, you got a concrete wall in the back. Rock and roll. The only thing I would worry about is this lanai off to the left. So let's take a look. You're looking at a what? Mockingbird F? So let's look at Mockingbird F. Let's see where they all are. Mockingbird F. Mockingbird F. What do you have to choose from in the Mockingbird? You got a lot of them. You have one located a little bit south of you. You have one over here in LaGrange as well. You have one here in LaGrange, 416, 427. You have one here. It is 420, and you have 416. I would look at this one because it's a little closer to the town square. 420. That's concrete block wall. This one here, you can't see your neighbor. The first home we looked at, you could kind of off to the angle, you could see your neighbor's lanai. This one, you cannot see your neighbor's lanai in. So 420 for that one. And then we looked at this one, 416. I would look at this one, 416. Let's see what this one looks like. Block wall, love it. LaGrange is nice. It's closer to the town square. It's closer to the pickleball. This one has a solid block wall on it. I like this one. I want to see the backyard on this one. Solid block wall. That's why I like this one over the other one. Oh, there's a space right there, though. So there is a gap. So I take a look at this one. Also look at the homes behind you. You know, if you've got lower priced designer homes like a Tall Pine around you, I would prefer to own a designer home where there are other similar sized designer homes around me. Now, if you purchase a designer home and you got a bunch of smaller designer homes like a Tall Pine, what's the other one? Seabreeze or something like that. You never want to own the most expensive home in the neighborhood or on the block. You always want to own the home that's the least expensive home on the block. So to me, I would look at the homes around you. And if you have a lot of smaller sized homes, I would pick the home that's in the neighborhood that has homes similar size to me or larger than me. I think all these homes in this area are going to be similar sized to you. So let's take a look what's available. Because that's going to help your resale value. That's just the way it is. That's just how real estate works. So here's your Mockingbird F. And then over here you have a Mockingbird C. Over here you have a Dove C. Okay, and then up here you were looking at which one? This one? Oh, I forgot where that was. That was up in here somewhere. Where was it? Kingfisher. Was it this one? Kingfisher. It was this one. Kingfisher. Anyway, I forgot where that other one was. Was it this one? So these homes in this area in Oak Hollow, they all have similar sized homes around it. You're not going to get that small Tall Pine in between in this area. But over in LaGrange, you're going to see some smaller homes around you. Mockingbird F, Oriole C, Songbird C. Here's your Tall Pine F. Right across the street from where you're living, you got a Tall Pine F. But you have a lot of other larger homes. Dove C, Oriole C. Here's an Eagle. There's another smaller home. Tall Pine, another smaller home. Eagle, another smaller home. Pebble Beach, smaller home. So I'll be honest with you, I probably would stay away from this neighborhood because there's so many smaller homes in this area. And I would most likely look at this Mockingbird or the other one, Mockingbird, this one. Because you can see right next to it's an Oriole, right next to it is a Mockingbird, right next to it is a Mockingbird. And if I remember my map correctly, I don't recall seeing any of these smaller designer homes in this area. I started seeing those smaller designer homes in Edenfield. They started putting a lot of the smaller designer homes in Edenfield and LaGrange. So I'm starting to rethink from a resale point of view, is Edenfield and LaGrange the best place to be? Because I would be a little nervous about buying a larger home in this area because you have so many smaller homes around you. Where if you buy the smaller home in Oak Hollow, they're all larger homes or similar sized homes to you. So I think this is actually going to have a better resale in the future. But you have to make your own decision. Let me know in the comments what you think. Pinellas, Daryl's. I love Daryl's. I go to Daryl's all the time up on 466. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's pretty good food at a reasonable price. I really haven't seen many issues with concrete cracking in the villages. I recommend that you seal your driveway. If you don't, epoxy your driveway. A lot of villagers will epoxy the driveway. That will help protect it. And I actually recommend doing that, to be honest with you. But if you don't do that, you can put like a clear sealer on that keeps the water out. Most people don't know that concrete will absorb water. I guess about 15% water or something. So in order to repel the water, you need to put at least a clear sealant on it. I think at least once a year, maybe twice a year. So the concrete doesn't absorb the water. And then with extreme heat, or at least in the north where I lived in Wisconsin, when the concrete absorbs the water, it freezes, it expands, you get more cracks. But concrete does absorb water, believe it or not. So seal it. If you don't seal it, epoxy it. My recommendation. I agree, Craig. I think the Villages builds a great home, a good quality home. I have not heard any bad things about that. But I get some commenters that keep commenting how bad the construction of the Villages homes are. They're not. I think they're good. Yeah, I love the concrete walls. Hi, Kimberly. Thanks for joining. It's on one way. Thank you for the video about how far from the turnpike you said. Okay. Yeah, all the measurements I took on the video were in feet. So the video I released yesterday, everything was listed in feet. And occasionally I misspeak when I'm recording my videos. Similar homes have more yard, open space further apart. Yes, I agree. And I think the yard in Oak Hollow is a little bit larger. I think these homes are on a little bit larger yards. I think you're going to be happier here if you buy this Mockingbird F or this one right there. I would walk the homes. I would walk in the backyard and I'd look at this one and I'd look at that one and I'd buy the one I felt the best with. Final answer. I like the tall pine mall because it has a walk-in pantry, as does. Yeah, I like the tall pine too. And I would love to buy a tall pine in one of those neighborhoods, like here in LaGrange, because it's surrounded by larger homes that will put upward pressure on the value of your tall pine. So because it's surrounded by larger homes. So if you're looking to buy the smaller home, you want to buy a smaller home in a neighborhood of larger homes because it will hold its value better. But if you're looking to buy a Mockingbird, I would buy in this neighborhood because it's surrounded by larger, similar sized homes. Just from a resale point of view. How far away is Edenfield? There's a lot of places in Edenfield, Kimberly. Let's go to the map. Kimberly wants to know where Edenfield is. So let's take a look at the tall pine, for instance, Kimberly. This part of the video is for you, Kimberly. And I really screwed up here. Okay, here we are. So the tall pine that we looked at is in LaGrange, and that tall pine model home is located right about there. And that is going to be looks like the closest distance is around 4,911 feet. So the tall pine in LaGrange, Kimberly, is about 4,912 feet. I think that's adequate distance. So if you're looking in Edenfield, there are tall pines in Edenfield, Kimberly, where this is, we're going to call it Kimberly, who was late for class. So if you're looking at, there's an eagle up here, I thought. Where's my eagle? Oh, no, tall pine. She likes tall pine. Tall pine. Tall pine C. So Kimberly wants a tall pine. Let's give Kimberly a tall pine. Okay, you got all kinds of tall pines here, Kimberly. So let's here. So we're going to measure these tall pines, Kimberly. See this? You have a tall pine C, tall pine C, tall pine C. So if I'm buying a tall pine C, I think this is the only one, right? Yeah. So these are the only tall pines. You got 3 to select from. So you've got this one with a south-facing lanai. You've got this one with a north-facing lanai. And I would recommend, this one's a little too close for the turnpike for me. So I'm looking at this one right here with a south-facing lanai, concrete walls, beautiful home. It's got Kimberly's name written all over it. Kimberly can't wait to sit in her lanai and have a cold beverage with her friends and her neighbors and play cards. So we're going to measure the distance to the turnpike from this home to the turnpike. So let's do that. Share this tab. So that home, Kimberly, is going to be located right in here. Where's that loop? I want to get it right. It is on that loop. So it's on the loop. Okay. So Kimberly, your house is going to be located right here, right there. That's your house. We're going to measure your house. This is your house with a south-facing lanai. This one. That's your house. South-facing lanai. This is the turnpike. $2,000. We're going to go right there. 2,154 feet. That's your house, Kimberly. Tall pine C with a south-facing lanai. Is that too close? I don't know. You're going to have to make that decision. The good news is that most of the time the wind moves from the west and moves to the east. So the turnpike noise will blow to the east. I don't know. I think you should walk around down there and make your decision. You have to be there. You have to walk and look. That's my opinion. That's this tall pine C right here that we just looked at. 2,000 feet from the turnpike. Lots of commenters. Oh, you're welcome. What is your name? Francis and Dazzle? We are from Wisconsin. Bucky Badger, go Badgers, go Packers, go Bucks, go Brewers. We're from Wisconsin too and just purchased a new patio villa in Edenfield. Congratulations. Happy homesteader. I'm from Wisconsin too, just by the way. I grew up south of Green Bay, Wisconsin, about 30 minutes south of Green Bay. Small farm community, very quiet farm community, I might add. It said that you can hear noise up to a mile away. You don't want to be closer. I would agree. For me, I need to be at least a mile away. The further, the better, because, you know, I'm a country boy that has not used to any noise. I would, but everybody's different. The Edenfield pool is the closest point to the park. Kiss level very low. What? Congratulations. I like the eagle. You like the eagle, Kimberly. Oh my God, I just did everything for nothing. So let's go and find Kimberly an eagle. I thought you liked the tall pine. Eagle sea model for Kimberly. We're going to find Kimberly a home to live in. Oh my God. Kimberly, you got choices, Kimberly. You have a pre-owned eagle right here in Water's Edge, by the way. 413, 412.5, pre-owned. Okay, and then you have some new ones. You have this one in Edenfield, and I'm not even going to look at it. For me, it's too close to the turnpike. But I'm looking at these two in LaGrange. This one has a south-facing lanai. This one has a south-facing lanai. They both back up to patio villa neighborhoods. Is that okay with you or not? So I'm looking at 380 or 382. I'm probably looking at this one because it's even a little bit further away from the turnpike. So this is the eagle with a south-facing lanai. I'm looking at. Is this one expanded? This one seems to be expanded. Or maybe not. I don't know. Awesome house, Kimberly. Congratulations. I know you're going to go and buy this house. Beautiful home. Eagle, eagle, high ceilings. I see a concrete wall in the back. Eagle. Look at that. Oh, eagle model home in the Villages. 380. I like it. Hey, Mikey, I like it. There's your pantry. It looks like it has a fairly decent sized pantry. Here's your primary bedroom. Block wall. We're going to look at the wall in the back. And then we're going to measure the distance because I know you're going to ask me that. So I like it. Hey, Mikey. Pretty soon. What time is it? Two-car garage. There's your showstopper wall. There is a space right there, but it's backing up to a patio villa that does not have a lanai in the back, so that's okay. That is okay. And then you have all this concrete block wall. You see this patio villa here has a lanai in the back, but that's far enough away from your home. That should not really affect you. And then here, and then the home over here has a patio or lanai in the back. So you should be okay with this home with, oh, the home right behind you has a patio in the back, but you have a privacy wall. So this has a lanai right behind you, but you have the privacy wall. It's block. So that is one of your choices. And then your other choice would be this one, which is just north of you. Let's see what the walls look like here. We're shopping for a home for Kimberly. We're picking Kimberly's home out. And then you have this gap right here. You don't know what's going to be there. So I don't know what to tell you, but right now this is not bad, this one. Now we're going to measure the distance for Kimberly because she's going to ask me how far it is to the turnpike. Let's look at it. Kimberly's home to the turnpike. Let's share. Kimberly's going to live right here. Where's Kimberly going to live? Okay, I'm confused. Where's she going to live again? She's going to live, okay, there. Kimberly's going to live somewhere right about in here, I think. Okay, right in the middle of the Patio Villa neighborhood is where she's going to live. She's going to live on which street? Yeah, she's going to live on the busy street. Just note, Kimberly, I'll go back and show you. Just note, Kimberly, that this is where you're going to live. So right in front of that. So your home, Kimberly, is going to be, there's a street and then a thing. You're going to live right here, Kimberly. Right about there. That's your house. And we're going to go to the Florida Turnpike, 5,400 feet. You're looking the closest distance. I think the closest distance here is around there. 5,389 feet. That's 1 mile, Kimberly. So that's your 1 mile benchmark. And that's the home that's this home that's in south of this home. But keep in mind, this is going to be a fairly busy street. This Caudill Trail, I think, is going to be busy. You're going to have people coming in off of Corbin, and they're going to come flying by your home, as well as this home here. They're both kind of on busy streets. That's the only kind of downer about it. But that's your home. There's your congratulations, Kimberly, if you're going to buy it. Do you think frame or concrete is going to keep the noise out? I think the concrete will keep the noise out more than a frame. Kissing Lanai, yeah. Concrete will be quieter. Yeah, I agree, Craig. Kissing Lanai's. Kissing Lanai, that's when the lanai in the back of your home is essentially adjacent to the lanai that's in the back of your neighbor's home behind you. It's called a kissing lanai. And that's the primary reason the villages has been putting up the block walls, because people are not buying the homes, or the homes are selling slowly, where the lanais essentially are adjacent to each other. Okay, Kimberly, we just found your home in LaGrange. That's 5,200 feet away. But Kimberly, once the other homes are built, that's going to muffle a lot of the noise. Maybe, maybe not. Does a happy home stutter hear noise from what? I'm not sure what that is. That's our area. We are near New London. Oh, you're in New London. So you must be Irish. All the Irish people live in the New London area. I'm German. I live south of Green Bay. I grew up where all the Germans live. But in New London area, that's where a lot of the Irish live. Okay. I think framed homes are good. I have not had any problems with my framed patio villa. In terms of wind, I think concrete block is a little bit better from a heating and cooling and a noise level perspective. Concrete wall from the lanai are not for everyone. Lots of people want more of a view. Yeah. But when you take the concrete wall down, you're watching your neighbor smoke his cigar in his lanai. You can hear every word he says. So, yeah. But a lot of people don't mind it. I agree. I think Ocala would be great. I hope they keep building the privacy walls. I think they will. I think they are going to, because they're having, the homes that don't have the privacy walls, that have kissing lanais, are selling slower, and they're trying to minimize the slow sales. Thanks for trying to find a home, Tim. Waiting for my Cali condo to sell. The plan is to be there early September. Oh yeah, early September. You're gonna have lots of homes. They're probably going to be in a better location than what you can find today. So take your time getting here from Cali. I think you're going to actually have better choices in September. May want to focus on Long Prairie. Yeah, I would agree. Long Prairie. Really? No, I don't know. I'm not, Becky. You should check your hearing, Becky. No, I'm just kidding. I've been live for an hour and 30 minutes. I think everybody's getting sick of watching my old wrinkly face and crackly voice. I think I'm going to end the live stream. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining. We'll go live again next week, approximately the same time, somewhere between 7 and 7:30 p.m. Florida time, Sunday evening. Okay. It faces west. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's better than facing north, at least in the Edenfield area. So that's your video. That is your update for today. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Take care. Awesome. I appreciate it. Come back next week and we'll do this all over again. Have a good night, everyone.